Here we are, live for Friday, July 10th, 2020. A little birthday shout out. I think my family, now that I think about it, just a lot of birthdays and anniversaries in the months of June and July. It's my dad's birthday, Bill Hunt. A little shout out to Bill Hunt. Couple phrases that come to mind when I think of Bill Hunt. It'll feel better once it stops hurting. It's a classic phrase of his. It'll feel better once it stops hurting. He also I think this might have been when maybe they were spending too much money, or my mom may have spent a little money at JCPenney. He would say, it's just money. You can make more on Monday. Keeping things into perspective. Simple thoughts.
Welcome to the Remodelers Show, hosted by Kyle Hunt.
All right, here we are. We're off and rolling. All right, we got a little bit of a smorgasbord of topics for you today. One little reminder at the top. I would love a comment or two or a question or two. I'm already seeing some comments popping through. Toss a couple questions out there if you would. I'd love to answer them live today. All right, continuous improvement. Continuous improvement. It's a phrase that just even saying that reminds you of a good thing to be striving after. Continuous improvement. A couple things come to mind for me. One is, as we grow our business, as we continue to work in our business, we never really hit the end mark. There's really no firm end to it, right? It's about being in continuous improvement. I have one client that I participate in a continuous improvement meeting with every couple weeks. Gets together with his little team, and we usually focus it on one area of the business. And we say, okay, we're going to do some continuous improvement meeting on the sales process, or on production, or on the handoff between sales and production, whatever it might be. And we just had one of these meetings yesterday, and it reminds me of the importance that I wanted to remind you of, which is, one, this idea of just having a continuous improvement meeting and picking a specific topic is a very powerful thought. That could be a takeaway. That could be something you go, that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to schedule that, and we're going to do it. And if you do that, a couple quick thoughts. One is, don't try to identify 8 things to fix. We don't have time to fix 8 things. We are busy serving our clients and doing all the work. When it comes to improving systems, processes, steps in the business, we have got to narrow it down to 1, maybe 2 things at a time. That also allows us to actually do it and implement it and make it happen. We are tempted to come up with 5 or 6 or 7 different ways to improve something. Try to narrow it down to 1, maybe 2 things, and make some SMART goals for it. Make it specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Okay? So that idea of a continuous improvement meeting. If you were to have a continuous improvement meeting with your team yet this month, what would you make that topic about? And when you do it, and when you're talking about it and you're thinking about improvements, identify just a couple to focus on. Make sure you have some SMART goals out of it. You can't help but make improvements when you approach it that way. It is easy not to make improvements, to feel good about it, but not to make improvements when you meet, you don't make any SMART goals, somebody's not specifically responsible for it, or we're a little vague in what we're going to do coming out of that meeting. Okay, so there's some thoughts that hopefully are good reminders, or you heard a little bit of something to maybe have you approach those conversations a little bit differently. All right, the next one up here is managing your team. Managing your team. I was on the phone this morning with one of my clients out west, and we were talking about his designer. And I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but sometimes, I know maybe some designers are watching this, sometimes designers are very creative, which we love. And I have found, my wife is big time into music and directing choirs and putting on productions. I have noticed that creative types sometimes don't have the greatest attention to detail. It is not unusual for maybe them to forget things or this or that, but the strengths that they bring to the table in creativity and vision casting, right, are off the charts. And a good team sometimes has different personalities, no doubt about it. And we were talking about a situation in the business, and I was digging into the designer's personality a little bit, And he said, something that I've reflected back on is we did the Myers-Briggs personality test, and everybody on the team did it, and we reviewed it together. We learned so much about each other. We know each other, we know our personalities, but by taking a little bit of a personality test, by identifying and really clearly our strengths, our weaknesses, it has really helped us understand each other better and work well together. Sometimes we're able to kind of poke fun a little bit of going, hey, you're leaning into that personality challenge that you wanted to work on. He says it's been a very effective way. I have a lot of other clients who have used DISC, D-I-S-C assessments to understand their personalities on their team and their own personality better. So it was a reminder of the power of, I lean a little bit more towards doing a DISC assessment. If you go to Remodelers on the Rise and you just search DISC, Tony Woodall is an expert at DISC assessments, and he's somebody I've done a couple podcasts with. That would be good for you to dig into that further. I pulled up my DISC assessment this morning, and even reviewing that, it shows me, my tendencies. It shows me things that I'm most likely to kind of put off. It reminds me of some of the strengths that I have. It's a really good exercise to go through. If you've never done that before, even taking it yourself and analyzing and understanding it goes a long ways. But for my conversation this morning, it reminded me of the power of doing them as a team to help us understand each other better and to help us work better together. Okay, so there's that one. All right, next one on the list is growing your team. Growing your team. This is another one from this morning. One of my clients was talking about, hey, I just signed a new lead carpenter, and it was a Remodeler Circle mastermind meeting, and another person chimed in. Two interesting things from it that I hope will be helpful for you. One of my guys is just being active and going on the offense when it comes to finding new people. I am not hearing him go, there's just no good help out there. Nobody's responding to anything, right? Which is easy to fall into that feeling. It is hard to find good people. But he said, you know what I'm doing? I'm having my assistant, my office manager, get a list of people. I'm talking to my vendors. I'm talking to people. I'm getting a list of names, and I'm just picking up the phone and I am calling them. Hey, I don't know what your situation is. I don't know if you're super busy, slow, if you're looking for, a new company to do some subcontracting and trade partner work with, or if you're looking for a new opportunity where you're looking to go, be an employee. But, I came across your information. I just wanted to reach out, introduce myself, and see, and just start the conversation. It might be something that we plant a seed that 6 months or a year from now might turn into something, or we might just say hi and bye. He's being active. He's going on the offense with it, which is something that when you're looking for help, yes, we put job postings up. Yes, we do different things. But to go on the offense, what does that look like? And I would encourage you to do that. Another guy on that same call was saying, I went back and looked at my best employees and where they came from. And he identified for the first time, or a little bit more clearly, a source. And it's a local company that sells tools. And so this guy sees these contractors come in. He knows which ones are buying quality tools that care a little bit more about their craft. He's getting to know them, and he has been a tremendous referral source of new employees for my client. So think about people that might have referred you in the past. Reach back out to them, stay in touch, keep at it, go on the offense when it comes to trying to find good help. Okay. Cool. So that was related to growing your team. All right. Marketing minute times 2, it says. Marketing minute times 2. 2 things. One, a quick one. One of my clients, it was evaluating what their Google Analytics has been saying about their website. And what he'd been seeing is not surprising during March and April in the middle of COVID, where he was seeing a pretty decent drop down in search traffic. But even as things have revved back up, that traffic has continued to be down, if not spiraling and going further down. What we're seeing there is one thought is he gets a monthly, which you can set it up to be more frequent, but he gets a monthly email from Google Analytics that shows him the basic nuts and bolts statistics related to his website. If you don't have even a monthly report coming to you, it really helps you just keep a pulse on that, reminds you to look at it. You can start to get a feel month in, month out. Is this going up? Is this going down? So that's a tip that might be helpful for you. In his case, he's been getting those. He's been seeing this trend, and he has seeked out an SEO company, and he's investing some dollars with them. When you identify a problem in the business, and it's an important problem related to traffic to his website, which leads to leads for his business, is a key part of his marketing. He has identified a problem, he has seeked out a potential solution, and he's investing dollars behind it. So I think there's just some reminders there of, one, maybe it's the Google Analytics and setting up that report. Maybe it's the reminder that when we see an issue in the business, we've got to put resources and time and effort towards it to fix it. So that's a little reminder there. And then secondly, on the Marketing Minute, is related to what I did on yesterday's Remodeler show. I did the 6 steps to crafting a marketing plan for remodelers. I just basically went step by step through the process that I walk my clients through when it comes to crafting a marketing plan. And then I made this offer, which is still valid today. remodelyourmarketingplan.com. It's a course that'll help you craft your marketing plan, your marketing budget. Usually sells for $997. You can buy it for $497 through the end of this week. Might be something for you to make an investment in. Maybe you have a marketing person on your team in-house that you could have them take this course and really get this full marketing plan, well thought out marketing plan and budget crafted. But what it reminded me of, other than kind of making that offer again, it reminded me of what I did yesterday was I was teaching and I was explaining the process, which just by explaining the process, people that watch that would get to know, like, and trust me more and understand my process when it comes to a marketing plan more. They're going to learn through it and maybe do some implementation even without me, which is great. And it reminds me that you guys need to be teaching and explaining your process in the content that you create and in your sales process. But when you're meeting with homeowners, but to explain your process, to give people clarity on how you work, what the steps involved are. That's a great set of content that you should always kind of be thinking about and working to create. That can be in written form. That can be in a picture with a little description. That can be you getting in front of a video and saying, today what I wanted to talk about is step number 2 in our remodeling process, which is all about getting into the design and project development. Here's how that works. Or step 1 is this, or step 3 is this. You need to continue, remodelers, you need to continue to show and give clarity on how your process works. It's a huge thing when it comes to your marketing and sales. All right. Let's see if we got anything in the old Ask Kyle Anything vault here. We've got some people making comments. We've got Zach Nolte. Thank you, sir. So when you're on Facebook on the stream, I think there's a little button you can push to make your name appear in the program that I use, which is called StreamYard. But I have Facebook open so that when people put a little comment, I know who it is. So Zach, good to see you. Marketing is everything right now. ! I was thinking about this yesterday, Zach. It is. Marketing is always important, no doubt about it. Even right now, though, I am seeing a good influx of leads for the most part. Everybody's pretty busy as we rev up through this. And I was thinking about, actually, here's what I was thinking about yesterday. I was thinking about 2 people that I've recently talked to about Remodelers Autopilot, which is sending out consistently email to our previous clients, staying in touch with them there, social media posts. There's a little Ask Kyle Anything call that's part of it, but content to help us generate repeat and referral work. And both of the people that I talked to were kind of like, I'm just so busy right now. I just don't want to do this. And then I get replies and it produces more leads. I just don't need it right now. And I understand that. But when you think a little bigger picture, is just like we didn't know that we were going to be slowed down like crazy 2 months ago. We don't know what 2 months from now looks like. We need to always be marketing. we need to, if we have too many leads, we need to work on how we qualify those leads, how we protect our time by doing design and project development. But to shut down marketing, to not pursue marketing, frankly, testing out marketing and doing marketing when you don't need leads is a great time to do it. That way you're testing and measuring and seeing what works so that when you really do need it, you can put even more towards it. So Zach, it's a good reminder. Marketing is everything right now. Vaughn, good to see you. He wrote, we've used disc provided by Dave Ramsey's company. It was an eye-opener. We started these about 5 years ago, and we have all new candidates that we are interested in take these as well. Not just employees, which is also a wonderful thing to do if you've never done these before. That's going to give some good insight. But what you're saying there, Vaughn, of candidates, what a tremendous tool to use during the hiring process. We're supposed to hire slow and fire fast, right? So hiring slow means we do multiple interviews. We have them take a disc assessment so that the interviews that we're having and the person that we're seeing across from us and that we're learning about, does their disc assessment match up with what they're saying about themselves? When you learn how to read these, you can really see, wow, that matches up. Or, that concern that I'm having about attention to detail and just through the questions I'm asking and the feedback I'm getting, wow, the disc assessment also talks about how juggling multiple things at the same time is not a strength of this person. That can sometimes save you from hiring the wrong person. So Vaughn, I appreciate you backing that up and talking about that, how it's impacted you guys. That's good. Rhonda said, we have done disc as well. Very helpful. All right. Rhonda also said TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. I agree with that. All right. Excellent. Thanks for your comments. Seeing some new faces out there. Excellent. All right. Let's keep on moving. The chime means we're going to keep on moving. That was Ask Kyle, I think. Know your numbers. There we go. Know your numbers. Talking to one of my clients yesterday, and I'm going to tie two things in with this. One is from talking with her, she's like, Kyle, we keep quoting decks. We get opportunities for decks. One, because we're marketing, and two, because we actually answer the phone, or we actually call people back, or we actually book an appointment, which most people just aren't even getting that from people. So they're just so excited when we're doing the basics, which is a good reminder for all of us. And she says, when it comes to our bathrooms, our kitchens, our additions, the core work that we do, we're competitive. We're not low. We're not super high, but we're very competitive. We're charging what we need to charge to be profitable. We're doing well in that. Don't get a lot of pushback from it. When we quote decks, we are just crazy expensive. And she's taking lead carpenters, well-paid carpenters and craftsmen, needing to charge what we need to charge for that, and applying that to decks, and the numbers are a lot more expensive than other companies who either specialize in decks, or, let's be real, it's much easier for kind of Chuck or Judy in a truck, to have a guy and two guys and just do it kind of cheapo and cut costs and not have a lot of overhead and just do decks cheaper. So she's seen this time and time again. This is not the first time in particular talking about decks with my remodeling clients that we have seen this, where if I'm tooled up, if I'm designed, if I've got my staff all built to excelling and doing great work when it comes to additions, bathrooms, kitchens, whole house remodels, a lot of times that doesn't translate well to being an affordable deck builder. Or a reasonable deck builder. The quotes that she had versus when she talked to this client, she's like, man, you guys were $12,000 more. And the strategy, there's two things here. One that I want to share. One is the strategy to say, we are not competitive with decks. We don't want to be competitive with that type of work. And we are just going to start turning that down because it's not an ideal project for us. The strategy and the definitiveness of making that decision is very powerful. And for all remodelers out there, there should be a line of demarcation around certain work that you're just not set up well for. Your team is not excellent at. You're not as competitive in, and you need to start turning it down and strategically turn it down, which, by the way, leaves more time and leaves more margin to focus on your ideal work. So at the end of this conversation, she had kind of made the decision, what? I agree. We've been kind of playing around with this. We've been trying, and it's just not working. We're going to be definitive and start turning that work down. The second thing that kind of plays into that is decisions like that of the size of projects you take on, the type of projects you take on, is often predicated on how much backlog of work you have, right? Rewind the clock 2-3 months ago and things were super quiet. If somebody came in with a deck lead, we'd be like, okay, let's do our best to sell it. Maybe we look at what we're charging. We're trying to be competitive, even though I don't like that. But when times are tight, we're gonna maybe cast our net into more places and try to catch more and different type of fish. Hopefully you caught my analogy there. But when we look at our backlog, that was the next part I asked her as we were talking about this topic is, what does your backlog work look like? What is this month, next month, the following month? This month, next month, the following month. If you want a spreadsheet to help you organize that, email Bailey's out today. So email me, Kyle, K-Y-L-E, at remodelyourmarketing.com. I'll send you a nice spreadsheet where we can plug in this month, next month, the following month. But when you're super clear with how much production you're expecting to do, I'll send you the details on how to calculate the this month, next month, the following month, if you ask. But when you're clear with what your backlog of work is, when you compare it to your overall budget and you say, wow, if we just produce this, we're set for the next 3 months, we're looking good. You can more confidently turn down work and qualify certain work that's not solid for your business out. So hopefully that's some reminders, a new angle to look at it. You heard being decisive. You heard understanding what your ideal project is and what your ideal project is not. You heard that can vary depending on how busy we are and the type of backlog we have. But there's some strategic decisions there that sometimes we just need to say, yes, we're going to do this, or no, we're not going to do this. That is very helpful to continue to grow our business and help our business. All right, cool. I like these topics today. We're kind of bouncing around to some different areas, and I hope they are helpful to you. I would love to hear that in the comments. Let me know. Let's see here. This one is from a coaching call. I had a first meeting yesterday with a new salesperson for one of my clients. And great meeting, a wonderful meeting. And what I had him do actually is he listened to the first 2 sessions of my Remodel Your Sales Process course. And then we met and reviewed that, did some batting practice around it. Batting practice, same thing as role playing. I just call it batting practice because I love baseball. And it was just a really great meeting. The reason I share that is because if you have people on your team, whether it is, like I mentioned earlier, a marketing person, or you have salespeople on your team, when you invest in training for them, it does a lot of things. 1, it makes them stinking better. 2, they're hearing it from a different person than you, which a lot of times is very helpful, right? When I'm coaching my son's baseball team and I'm trying to get an idea across to him and he's not listening to me because I'm dad, but then my buddy Tom, who's the assistant coach, comes over and says the same thing, and Thomas, my son, is listening intently and does what he does. Sometimes it's just good to hear it from another voice. There's that. 3, seeing you invest in them is a powerful thing. And it allows you to leverage your time a little bit, to have some outside training that they can take and an outside coach that they can get help from that doesn't require you to be spending all of those minutes and hours on it is a very powerful thing. So that's just a reminder who on your team, and if it's sales and marketing related, I'm a good resource for you, whether it's them taking just a course, whether it's doing some one-on-one coaching in addition to that. But what are you doing to train them up? Just went through this exact thing with one of my clients in New York where they have a marketing person on staff. She's in charge of marketing, but she's never been equipped with how to create and craft and really own a marketing plan. She went through the Remodel Your Marketing Plan course. She did some coaching with me. She is so much more confident, in control, and it's her marketing plan now. She is taking responsibility for that part of the business, where in the past she was just kind of floating out there, trying different things, doing decent things, but not having that full plan and full education on how to do that part. So whether that's marketing, sales staff, whether that is people in the field, there's great power in investing and training your team. And I wanted to share that. All right. I'm kind of focused on today's Remodeler show. What else we got? All right. A quick one here. Technology, little technology category of the Remodeler show. I think I mentioned this the other day, but I still had it in my notes. Fiverr, FIVRR.com. When you hear this,
Welcome to the Remodelers show,
wow, so professional.
hosted by
I think we paid $5 for that. To have somebody do that, like the other voiceovers that you've heard.
Let's get some insight from a coaching call.
Right, very inexpensive, but professional. So graphic design, audio, video, some editing. There's just a lot of resources on Fiverr that you can utilize to create just some really good content design, etc., for your modeling business. So take a look at that. Rhonda, you asked a question. What is everyone using for marketing? What is working best for you? People, comments. Let me hear it. Let me see it. And Rhonda, I'll add my 2 cents. I guess maybe I'm adding my 2 cents as I do the marketing minute and what's working. I'm seeing, as far as working goes, talked to a client yesterday who's been active in developing strategic partners, has been generating some really solid referrals from a new architect partner. Strategic partners, that's just flat out results. I have a client who has spent the last 6 months really investing time and money into developing out their website, and it's gone from not generating any leads to a really nice consistent flow of leads. So just their flat out website is generating results. How we stay in touch with our previous clients. Remodelers Autopilot, every month I'm seeing examples from my clients of, you know what, I hadn't heard of this client in a long time. I sent that email out, got a reply back saying, hey, we'd love to talk to you about a kitchen we're thinking about doing, or we're wanting to move forward with a bathroom remodel. So staying in touch with our previous clients. There's a few ones for you. Edit just said, being active on House gives me good leads, so that's working for her. Rhonda, do you know anything about House? I know Rhonda's done a lot on House over the years. Cool. All right. Let's round out the show with a couple other things here. One, down at the bottom there, it says text join to 516-219-9736. I send out a nice little text each week. Allows us to kind of engage back and forth one-on-one. Feel free to grab that. If you're interested in that remodelyourmarketingplan.com, take advantage of that sizable discount. Just reach out to me at kyle@remodelyourmarketing.com, and I can connect you and hook you up with that. That's another quick little tip. I have several clients who just text their team once a week. Might be a little reminder, might be a little thank you, might be a little motivational quote, might be a let's get after it this week. Is there anything that I can help each of you with this week? Reply back to me individually. But just that texting a group of your team in the field allows, guys that might not see each other as often, maybe they're on different job sites, allows you to lead well from a standpoint of motivating and encouraging, recognizing somebody that did really well. So that's just a simple idea. I've got several clients who do that consistently with their team, and I just see how it bonds them a little bit, allows them to motivate and encourage in a quick but effective way. And oh, by the way, when you're texting your team, why don't you text a client and ask for a Google review as well? All right, rock and roll. Don't get me started, Rhonda says, about House. I know I was poking there. How long does it take to go through the course? Who asked that? Edit. So the course, the Remodel Your Sales Process course is there's 8 sessions, and each one of them are 60 minutes long. And there's a little bit of homework, a little bit of action steps to do in between, but it's self-paced, so you might sit down and say, you know what, tonight I'm going to knock through 2 of these sessions and boom, boom. But, just based on what you just heard there, 8 60-minute long sessions gives you a feel for that. Awesome. All right. So as we round out the week, it's the
2-minute warning.
It is a 2-minute warning. Next week, on Tuesday, I've got a gentleman named Fairs coming on to the show as a guest, and we're going to dig into this kitchen estimator that he's having good results on. So that's going to be a little bit of a different show. Monday will be also a show. Next Wednesday through Friday will be dark. I'm heading up to Northern Michigan. I'm speaking to the Home Builder Association of the Upper Peninsula. They have an outdoor barbecue and speaking thing, and my father, the aforementioned birthday boy, and my 2 sons are going to have a little dudes trip up there. And then we'll be back that following week for a full week. Paul McManus who a lot of you might know from the Remodelers Community Board. He's going to come on July 20th, and we're going to talk about some awesome stuff and helpful stuff, and we're going to keep this Remodeler Show train moving. Would love your feedback. Need your feedback. It's a pretty big commitment to carve out, to prep for this show, to put 30 minutes in, and a little bit of feedback goes a long ways to me. If you're enjoying the show, please let me know. That just fires me up, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm enjoying the show, and I hope you guys are as well. And we use radio. It is quite expensive. Pros brings in a lot of leads. Cons brings a lot of leads. Vaughn said that. Cool. And then Rhonda, off to the beach. All right. Happy Friday, everybody. If you heard something on today's show that you thought was good, you should implement it. Get out there, figure out how to implement it, take the next right step on it. Thanks for tuning in. Catch y'all later.